Good morning, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Uh, Welcome back and nice to have you here. I just want to comment on a couple of points. One is today's protest in Addis Ababa or Finfinne. As you might already heard from different media, the Muslims try to do after or finish their fasting at Mescal field, but the government refused them to have it there. But they determined to do it. They came out in protest in a big number, and the government used excessive force to crush them down because Abiy Ahmed is very sensitive to protest. He don't want the global community to see, because Addis Ababa is the center of the global community. A lot of embassies sit there, so they don't want that to happen against their government. They use excessive force and they crush the protesters and they remove them. But what you see is the Muslims, they express their anger at their protest. They were chanting against Abiy Ahmed and the Prosperity Party. They were carrying like some of the slogans like Abiy Ahmed is a thief, junta is better than Abiy Ahmed, or TPLF is better than Abiy Ahmed, Allahu Akbar, or God is great. They repeatedly saying this thing to show their displeasure, disappointment with Abiy Ahmed, which is good. But the issue I see in Ethiopia is everybody or a group waiting something to happen to them to act against the prime minister. They know all his policies are against the people, all his policies and everything under his leadership is falling down. The Muslims attacked in Wollo by Amara Special Militia and others. So the Finfinne or the Addis Ababa Muslims, they know this is happening. They heard about the news. They know about the arrest of all Oromo politicians and others in thousands and thousands. They know the military expansion and extended command post in Oromia, especially in Wolaga and Borana area, and the command post in Benishangul. They know all this is happening, but they were waiting something to happen against them, and they get up to protest this. This kind of activity will not produce effective result, for that country. Everybody is waiting something to happen against them. That's not good. We have to act collectively when we see something wrong happening somewhere against our religion or against our ethnicity or against other groups. If it's not fair, if the killing, the torture, the arrest is happening somewhere, you don't have to wait and say, oh, I'm okay, it didn't come to me, and act when it comes to you. this kind of situation will not take us out from Abiy Ahmed brutal leadership, very dangerous leadership. So everybody act together and collectively to bring concrete change like it happened in 2018. You know, all Muslims, Christians, Amaras, Oromos all came together, acted against TPLF and brought change, even though the change is diverted for Abiy Ahmed's benefit. So the same thing should happen. Don't wait until to happen to you individually or in a group. When it's happened somewhere else, you have to act with all to bring the corrective measure against the government. Okay, that's the comment. Another one is the Orthodox senior religious man, Patriarch Mathias, expressed his opinion about the war in Tigray. And he said, he didn't say something new. He just repeated what the international communities, what the medias are saying, what even the Ethiopian Human Rights Watch is saying. That's atrocities happening in Tigray and ethnic cleansing happening in Tigray. So he expressed this opinion openly to the media. And he also said the government is censoring his speech repeatedly when he was trying to speak against the atrocities happening. So for, you know, what you can see here is Abiy Ahmed is attempting to control every sector in that country. Religion, media, the government media, that's already under the control. OBN, EBS, FANA or Walta, all of them, they don't report something against Abiy Ahmed or something credible. They're just reporting something he wanna hear. So how are you gonna fix something happening, you know, something is not good, if you don't have criticism from media? How are you gonna correct it? So Abiy Ahmed, he don't wanna hear something like that. He control all the sectors. So the opinion expressed by this senior Orthodox religious person is telling us that we are in a dangerous road under Abiy Ahmed leadership. We are in a very dangerous road. He does not tolerate opposite ideas or criticism. So now what we see after he expressed this comment, there is an attack from Abiy Ahmed surrogates, media, social media, calling him, traitor, calling him he's a TPLF, calling him is, Wayane. He's speaking only for Tigrayans. So they're calling this very very senior guy with different names, trashing him because Abiy Ahmed wanted to happen. And also the Abiy Ahmed and his security apparatus acting the senior Patriarch Mathias, and the security check and all the fake news against him is already started. So systematically, maybe they want to remove him and replace him with somebody else. So these are not a healthy indication what is coming in that country if Abiy Ahmed wins in the upcoming election. These are not a healthy indication. the government is not open for criticism or for opposite idea. So that's very challenging, very challenging. He controlled the military, he controlled the federal police, he controlled the undercover operatives, he controlled the intelligence, he controlled religious sectors, including the Muslim leaders, religion leaders. Excuse me. And these are not the kind of things we want to happen in Ethiopia. We want Ethiopia to be open, tolerance to criticism and opposite ideas, and so that we can fix our problem and we can develop in that way. So that's a very tough one, and now they are doing everything to crush this senior person, or probably remove him at the end. The other one is the election. The government repeatedly now, maybe for the third time, extended the election because the government or Abiy Ahmed is not getting enough voters to register. They are doing some fake numbers with Burtukan Mideksa, with the help of Burtukan Mideksa. It's already reported big numbers coming from Somalia region and others. So that must be watched, especially those who are already in the competition must follow every step. And they have to have their observers, possibly on each polling places. If not, their participation is meaningless, and Burtukan and Abiy Ahmed supporters will declare victory. So they have to watch, and for concerned citizens, media, this election is meaningless because 60% of that country's population are not taking part. The Oromos, they are not taking part in this. All the leaders are in jail. Their offices are closed. Thousands and thousands of political supporters are in jail. So it's meaningless. It's meaningless. Plus, the voters should know that PP is nothing new. PP is the parties worked with TPLF in the last 27 plus the last 3 years, so for 30 years. So nothing new. Don't be misled. These are the people worked with TPLF to kill their own residents. OPDO, for example, did everything to crush the Oromos and guide TPLF to all Oromia region, and kill oppositions under the name of OLF. They kill them, they arrest them, they forced people to move outside the country because of the threat. So they did everything. They are not clean in their record. They are repeating again in the last 3 years, doing the same thing. A lot of grave human rights violations happen. People are taken out of prison and killed. People killed just and throw on the street, on the forest. All command posts. So all this plus several other points should be mentioned here, not to vote for this prosperity party. If you are forced to take the card, If you are not forced, concerned citizens media advise you to boycott. But if the government, I know they are forcing people, if they force you to do it, maybe try the other parties. For Oromos, nothing is available, but instead of voting for the same killers, OPDO and their group, the Amara, ODP or whatever it is, they are the same thing. They don't have clean hand, all of them. All of them. They're supposed to be in jail, but we're gonna do it. So if you are forced to take the card, please vote for other parties or throw the card into trash. So these are the reasons concerned citizens advise voters not to vote for Prosperity Party. Number one, the PP is, allowed Eritreans to cross the border, rape Tigrayan women, girls, loot their properties, destroy their properties, and so also allowed Sudan to cross maybe 80, 70 kilometers into Ethiopian territory. So this is a sign of failure on PP. The other one is command post expanded. Command post expanded in Oromia almost for more than 2 years. Benishangul Gumuz region, and now in Amara region. So that's another reason. The other reason is war is still going on in Tigray. Endless war created by Abiy Ahmed and his Prosperity Party. And that war is creating misery and grave human rights violations and genocide in Tigray region because of the Prosperity Party choose to do this instead of settling the issue through diplomacy or dialogue, reconciliation. So that's another reason not to vote for them. Ethnic conflict everywhere between Amara and Oromo and between the others. So no healthy sign between different ethnicities in that country. So that's also another weakness of leadership under the Abiy Ahmed. And also the PP, under Prosperity Party leadership, Ethiopia is isolated globally. That's not a good sign for a healthy country. We are interdependent. We are connected globally. So isolation is very dangerous for the country to prosper, or what they're talking about, becoming a wealthy nation in the future under Prosperity Party. How are you going to do it? No. If you don't have good relationship with Europe, good relationship with United States, Canada, Australia, UN, others, how are you going to know? So this is a sign of wrong leadership, and they should not get your vote. The other one is, I repeated this, grave human rights violations occurred under Abiy Ahmed than under TPLF. Too many grave human rights violations in Oromia, Benishangul, Walaita, Tigray is the most recent. Grave genocide. So how are you going to vote for these people? How Ethiopians really have the courage to vote for a Prosperity Party? That's the question they have to answer. But for concerned citizens, you should not vote for this Prosperity Party. The other one is lack of accountability. Lack of accountability is everywhere. People killed, nobody's accounted. Nobody brought to justice. People taken out from jail, killed, family cry for justice, nothing. Hachalu killed, nobody brought to justice. Engineer Semanyo killed, nobody. And the military guys, crime happened in Amara, nobody accounted for. Lot of crimes unaccounted for under Abiy Ahmed. So he just sent his undercover operatives or killing squad and do the dirty work, then nobody caught or nobody brought to justice. So the country cannot be trusted under these people. You know, the country without accountability. So the justice system is broken. The justice have no power. His Abiy Ahmed Federal Police and undercover operatives have power over justice system. They can arrest, they can release, they can do whatever they want to do just by phone order, you know. So lack of accountability in that country. The other one, Prosperity Party repeatedly exhibit lying characters, lying conduct. From the top, from Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and down the other, and you know, under his authority, where the ambassador Dina Mufti and Daniel Kubrat and the others, all prosperity, the military generals, they lie. They lie because nobody hold them accountable. They lie. They just lie and they don't tell Ethiopians and the global community the truth. So they are not trustworthy. They are not trustworthy to Ethiopians and to the global community. So how you Ethiopians can vote for not trustworthy individuals, for liars? For liars, never apologize, never feel ashamed sitting in front of cameras, different medias, and lying. They come back again, lie, and they come back again, lie, and never feel ashamed and never apologize. Whether a religious person like Daniel Kubrat, they lie about Eritrean involvement in Tigray war for more than a month. Then after international pressure, the Prime Minister admitted, then the rest start admitting because the order is coming from the top. He say, yes, Eritreans are in Tigray. Then everybody, Dina Mufti, all of them, they start saying, yeah, we are working on it. Eritreans are getting ready to get out. You see? But never apologize. No one, even the Prime Minister. They're supposed to apologize for misleading Ethiopians and the global community. But these people, they don't feel ashamed. They don't care. Again, they repeat their lies. So they do not deserve Ethiopians' vote to lead for the next 5 years. They do not deserve. That is the belief of the concerned citizens media. So never vote for this very essential points I mentioned, and many other points. They don't deserve. They don't deserve. If the system was fair, the justice system, everything was fair. These people should be accounted for their past crimes for the last 27 years. What they did against Amaras, against Oromos, and against other ethnicities in that country when TPLF was leading them. So, but who gonna ask them? Anyway, Ethiopians, if you have a chance, don't vote for this PP. And maybe I will come back and repeat this point when the time is closer. I think it's now maybe a month. But they don't deserve, really. How dare you vote for your own killer? These are killers. They are torturers. They are, destroyers. They destroyed the lives of many, many Ethiopians. So Prosperity Party does not deserve your vote. So that is my comment for today. And I will share some videos, then I will conclude today's presentation. So let's see some of the videos. The first one is a report on the Patriarch Mathias.
Government has been fighting the Tigray People's Liberation Front since November. The conflict in the northern Tigray region has killed thousands of people and displaced more than 1 million. And now, rare public criticism from inside the capital against Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed.
I am not sure what the Tigray people did wrong, what their crimes are. I am not clear why they want to declare genocide on the people of Tigray. I do not know why they want to wipe the people of Tigray from the surface of the earth. The whole world should know this.
The video of Mathias, a Tigray native and patriarch of Ethiopia's Orthodox Church, was filmed last month and smuggled out of Addis Ababa. He accuses the government of creating carnage, wanting to destroy the northern Tigray region, and censoring his earlier attempts to speak out.
And my other message to the people of Tigray who live in the country and out of the country is this. May God give you strength. May He give you His strength and power. Everything passes, and this might pass away. This might pass away. Don't be demoralized. Don't be fearful or anxious.
The government has condemned atrocities in the conflict, but has denied claims of ethnic cleansing and the targeting of civilians. Members of parliament choose the country's senior leaders, and as 40% of its estimated 110 million people are Orthodox Christian, Mathias' message is likely to resonate with voters ahead of parliamentary elections in June. Prime Minister Ahmed's efforts to achieve peace in the region earned him the Nobel Prize in 2019, but he's faced multiple crises since. The humanitarian fallout of the Tigray conflict is likely to overshadow upcoming elections, which could erode his hold on power. And on Wednesday, the government-appointed head of Tigray's interim government resigned, giving no reasons as to why. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera.
On the holiest night of Ramadan, more violence on the streets of occupied East Jerusalem. Palestinian protesters threw water bottles. Israeli security forces used stun grenades, foul-smelling, chemically laced water jets, and close-up physical force. This man was beaten on the ground in front of us, and then ushered away into the night with no attempt to detain him. It wasn't an isolated incident. So the period just before and around prayers was relatively calm here at Damascus Gate, but in the last few minutes it's erupted into another night of tension and scuffles. The worry is that another potentially violent night could ensue. In the following hours, that potential was fulfilled. The anger here isn't just about the scenes from Al-Aqsa on Friday when stun grenades were used inside the mosque itself. It's been building over threats to forcibly evict Palestinian families from their homes in the East Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah.
People's solidarity gave us the power to continue with our peaceful resistance. All that we are asking is peaceful solidarity against our eviction. We ask any organization or government to stand with us and help prevent the forceful evictions in Sheikh Jarrah.
We are the rightful owners. We are the owners of the land. All we want is for them to stay away. The forged papers they have do not make them the rightful owners.
It's been present since the start of the holy month, when pandemic-weary people found a major post-prayers gathering point barred off. And it's been exacerbated by interventions from the Israeli far right.
We don't have not light at the end of the tunnel, but we don't have a tunnel because there is no peace process. East Jerusalem is occupied. It's not Israeli sovereignty in Jerusalem. It hasn't been recognized by the international community. So we are sitting on a volcano.
There are concerns of a further deterioration. On Monday, thousands of Jewish Israelis are set to march through the old city's Muslim quarter to mark the Israeli seizure of East Jerusalem in 1967, on the same day as a Supreme Court hearing on the Sheikh Jarrah evictions. Dangerous days ahead for a flashpoint city that can be both a focal point and a fuse for conflict within and far beyond its streets. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, occupied East Jerusalem.
Mustafa Barghouti is Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative political party. He says this is the latest example of years of oppression.
What you see here is a reflection of a system of racism and discrimination against Palestinians. Not only we have been under occupation for more than 54 years, but on top of that, Israel has established a system of apartheid and racial discrimination. The vast majority of Palestinians today are prohibited from reaching Jerusalem and participating in the prayer in the mosque, as much as the Christians were also prohibited from participating in the Eastern, during Easter time, to be in the Church of Holy Sepulchre. This is a discriminatory system, and of course what you see here is protest against this discrimination. On top of that, Israel, as you have indicated, is trying to conduct ethnic cleansing in one of the major neighborhoods in Sheikh Jarrah, as much as they do that also in other neighborhoods in Jerusalem. So basically, this is the evolution of a strong struggle against racism, against apartheid, and against the occupation that has lasted longer than anybody can tolerate.
Roofers are furious about this new metal roofing product that's going viral. And right now, applications are being accepted.
Children screaming for their mothers.
Okay, this one is about the attack in Afghanistan. So I just warn you, please don't watch this one with children. Some graphic figures and blood and other things, because it's a terrorist attack. Nobody claimed responsibility, but the terrorists attacked the school, the girls' school. So please don't watch this with children. That's a warning.
Scattered notebooks and casualties strewn across the ground in western Kabul. Said al-Shahada Girls' School had been a place of safety, education, and hope for the future. Now the scene of an attack intended to create maximum casualties. 3 explosions at about 5:30 p.m. local time. The same time, young women and girls were finishing school and streaming out of the gates. Dozens of wounded civilians were rushed to Muhammad Ali Jinnah Hospital, many in a critical condition. Unfortunately, during the time when students were coming out of the school, a powerful explosion happened, and a number of our children were wounded. And you can see that all the hospitals are full of victims. Those who lost their lives lined up in the corridors as family members checked to see if they'd lost their loved ones. Concerned people kicked up to donate blood.
There were a lot of casualties. There were a few male victims, but most of them were female, school students. The victims were female school students. The bodies were everywhere, and some of the bodies were missing heads.
The attack took place in Dastabarchi, a predominantly Shia and Hazara neighborhood. These groups have often been at the receiving end of violence by armed groups in Afghanistan due to religious and political differences. Rights groups say there has been a recent surge in targeted killings of women and religious minorities. No group has yet claimed responsibility for this attack, but there is a circle of blame among officials and fighter groups. The Taliban condemned the attack and denied any responsibility, blaming ISIL. But President Ashraf Ghani blamed the armed groups, saying the Taliban have once again shown their unwillingness to resolve the crisis peacefully and fundamentally by escalating their legitimate war and violence. In a country already torn apart by decades of war, this attack will no doubt lead to more fear, more anger, and parents scared to send their children to school. Quilio Contrafuri, Al Jazeera, Kabul.
Okay, that's all. Thank you, Al Jazeera, for all this reporting. It's really very sad. It's very sad. And Afghanistan, almost like this for the last 20 years, never got peace. Even though the international community is there, even though the United States is there for almost 20 years. So no peace is established. So now the United States and the Afghanistan Taliban are already signed a deal, so the Americans will be leaving. So I don't know what's gonna happen after that. So the situation is very tough after 20 years. They won the military, just like the Tigray region. Abiy won the military. The United States won the military conflict in Afghanistan, but they didn't bring peace and stability. That is a challenge for Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki in Tigray region. They won the war, but they are not holding the country together. And the other one is Israel and the Palestinian issue is coming back again and again because the Palestinians are under the occupation. And through time, I reported about this issue before, through time they are losing more land. And Israel is expanding and evicting the Palestinian families one by one, neighborhood by neighborhood. And nobody is protecting the Palestinians. No Arab League, no United Nations, no US, nobody. These are helpless people, really. They got nothing to defend themselves. And now the conflict started. I heard that Hamas is firing rocket into Israel from Gaza. So the conflict is coming back. Quite, it cool down for a while, come back again. But through the process, Palestinians are losing more and more land. That is ridiculous. And the Israelis are getting more land. bringing more Jews from outside. I said that if you don't have enough land, please don't bring people. Don't bring people if you don't have enough land to give them. That's a wrong one. If you are on planning to evict the Palestinians, bring the Jews back. That's a wrong policy, and it's unfair. It's unfair. But who can talk about this? Who can defend these helpless people? They have no guns. They have no nuclear bomb like Israel. They are not advanced in any way. So every time the war started, Israel pushed back, hit hard, destroy more lives, more properties, then settle a little bit, come back again, destroy more land. And the Palestinians are losing and losing and losing. And nobody is there to defend them. In the long run, if this thing continue, there is no land called Palestinian. It will be Israeli. That is my comment. To close, for the protesters, I repeat, for all Ethiopians, please don't wait until something to happen against you. If you see something wrong happening somewhere else, unite with that group and protest the government, demand change, or demand the respect for rules of law. So the Muslims in Addis Ababa, they did that. They waited. They ignored all the warning happen. All the atrocities happen against the others in Tigray, Oromia, Benishangul. They ignore the arrest of Johar Muhammad, Bakkala Garba, Hamza Borana, other politicians. Now they wake up when something happened against them. That is not a good strategy. We have to speak up with one voice to avoid a one-man show in that country. It is happening now. The indications are clear. Abiy Ahmed is going to be a dictator. He controls everything. Nobody say something against him. He don't tolerate criticism. The parliament is under his control. The court system, the federal police, the military. I don't believe even if he loses the election, he will peacefully transfer to the next political party. I don't believe. It's a very tough one because he controls the structure, the economic, the security, everything. So it's a very tough one. It could be 1997 again. We have to watch it, and I will report back to you. Thank you again for taking your time to listen to Concerned Citizens Media. I will be back with other news and a comment next time. So long, everyone. Be safe. Thank you.